Hey guys, how's it going? Mr. Biz, Ken Wentworth here. You gotta excuse my voice a little bit. For those of you who saw the video yesterday, I went to a Buckeye game yesterday. The game went to overtime, but sadly our Buckeyes lost, so my voice is a little off today. But wanted to talk to you today about improving efficiency in your business. Again, a whole host of ways to do that, but one specific way I wanted to talk about today was utilizing KPIs. You guys have probably heard that terminology before, and some of you may have said, what the heck is a KPI? And you didn't want to seem silly by asking the question, but it's a key performance indicator. It's just an acronym, KPIs. People try to sound cool by saying KPIs. I guess it's less syllables too, but these are the kind of things we cover as well in my Pathways to More Profits program. It's a 5-week program. You can go out to MrBizProgram.com and find out more information about it. It's a 5-week program. You get videos, you get Zoom sessions, live Zoom sessions with me. I can help you with your business. So KPIs, what to avoid and what to make sure you do. So it made me think of this because I've got a close friend of mine who is in the process. I'm heading to the gym here, and he is in the process of negotiating purchasing a gym. And so we've talked about a lot of key things that he needs to get from the current owner. What are some of these key metrics? And so we've been talking about those specific to a gym, a physical, where you work out, that kind of thing. And excuse me. One of the things to make sure you're doing when you're utilizing KPIs. So first of all, there's two things that people do that I see are mistakes. They either don't use KPIs or they use way too many KPIs. So it seems that people who don't know what they are, understand what they are, and actually you may be using KPIs, you don't even realize it. You might call them something different. Again, KPIs is just the kind of the cool thing of the last, 5 or 10 years. People call them that, but they're statistics that are measuring different operational measures within your business. It could be financial measures as well, but mostly operational in nature. Excuse me. And so one of the things we talked about with him was, measuring how many members they have, what's the usage rate, what's the attrition rate of people every month. But going back to what I mentioned earlier is people when they do get indoctrinated into KPIs and understand and they see how powerful they are, then they keep adding and keep adding and keep adding. And what happens is it becomes overwhelm. And the example I use, and tying it right into the gym here, the example I use is just like you hear about people who decide all of a sudden they're going to lose weight. They've got some big event or a class reunion or whatever. They got a vacation coming up and they want to lose a bunch of weight. And they decide a little bit too late in the process, and so they decide, geez, to do this, I got to take drastic measures. And so now all of a sudden they're trying to lose weight, but they are doing 27 different things, and they're not successful because they can't keep up. I'm trying to drink a gallon of water every day. I'm trying to do cardio 5 times a week. I'm trying to lift with weights 4 times a week. I'm trying to make sure I get 8 hours of sleep. I have to only eat this many carbs. I have to stay away from sugar. You end up with this whole laundry list of things. And what happens is it's just overwhelmed. You can't do all of that at once. It's very difficult to try to do all that at once. KPIs can be the same way. They can be overwhelming for you if you try to, you overdo it. So what I suggest to people is, first of all, you should be using them. Absolutely 100% for sure. It doesn't matter what your business is. There are KPIs for your business that will help you run your business more efficiently. No doubt. You name me a business and I can give you KPIs right off the top of my head. But what I suggest is no more than 5 at a time. Now, once you start measuring those 5, and let's say you get 2 of them over a series of several months, you get 2 of them to where you want them, you could move those to almost like what I would call a second page, some secondary KPIs that you keep an eye on them, right, to make sure that they don't slip back into being inefficient. But you don't focus on those. You focus on 5 at a time, and that helps you keep your people, if you have employees, it helps you keep them focused as well. As they're not trying to focus on 20 different things. They're focused on these 5 or these 3, maybe even, if you want to be more specific about it. Because that overwhelm, like I said, just becomes crazy. A very key one, if you have any sort of business where you are billing out your employees' hours, and that can come in a whole lot of forms. That's not just a law firm or a professional firm or something like that. That's also something like if you think about almost any type of service business. So you've got service techs. Let's say you have an HVAC business. You might have what's all the rest of them? Plumbing, electric, all that sort of stuff. I've got a chimney sweep customer, a client I've mentioned a few times, is measuring if they're full time. So let's say you're paying them for 40 hours a week, let's say. what percentage of those hours, of those 40 that you're paying them every week, are actually getting billed to a customer. So let's say you have a tech that goes out to a job, you have an HVAC company. The tech goes out, they do the job, and they get billed for the labor, right? So the tech was there for 2 hours, they get billed for 2 hours. Let's say you have 100% markup on your labor. So you bill at 2 times the hourly rate. Let's say you're paying your guys $20 an hour. So you bill the customer at $40 an hour, let's say. Just keep the numbers simple, right? In that instance, you may feel like, geez, I got a lot of wiggle room right there. I've got 100% of wiggle room. But if you start measuring the percentage that is actually billed out of that 8 hours you're paying your tech every day, you might be surprised. Because again, keep in mind, you have travel time back and forth to the job. You might have some occasional meetings, you have discussions, you have this, you have that. So you're almost never going to get to 100%. That's utopia, and that's not really realistic. You can get a little closer to that if you have some sort of trip charge or travel charge, right, to offset some of that time when your guys are in a truck, etc., traveling back and forth between jobs. But I will be very surprised if you measure this. And by the way, you might be embarrassed a little bit when you see, if you do actually start to measure this. But it is something that will absolutely move the needle for your business. That's why that was one of those things when you start using KPIs to make your business more efficient. Look for things that move the needle. For any type of business that has this, to where you're billing out your time to customers, it could be you could have an auto repair shop. You could have a body shop where you repair cars, things like that. Anything like that, you want to look at the percentage of time that you're actually billing. You're paying your guys 8 hours a day. What percent of those 8 hours on an average basis are you charging out? Are you charging out 4 hours a day, 5, 6, 7? What is it? And then you can look for ways to maximize that and cut that, or I'm sorry, increase the percentage, right? And it's super powerful. When you do the math, you'll be amazed. You could be at, let's say you're at 55% utilization. It's kind of what they call it, utilization in this measure. If you move to 60%, and let's say you have 4 employees, you start to multiply that out, that 5% difference, you will be amazed at the difference that'll make over a year's time. Absolutely crazy. And usually there's things, you could even ask your guys for things like this. Hey guys, here's what we're really looking at. And again, you keep them focused on just a few of these things. What are some ways we could do to increase the amount of billable time you have essentially with customers? You would be amazed. You can make small improvements, small changes that make vast improvements in your financials, so in your efficiency. So that's it for today. Again, go out to MrBizProgram.com if you want to learn a little bit more about that program we have, live sessions, videos, etc. We talk about growing your revenue, how to make a budget if you don't know how, and without needing to be a financial guru, improving your cash flow, just all sorts of things. You can go out, check out that website. You don't have to register for anything. You don't have to give me your email or any of that crap. But you can go out to that website, MrBizProgram.com, and it'll tell you all about it. If you're interested, great. Love to see you in the next session. If not, no worries. Really appreciate you guys watching these videos, and hopefully they're helpful. And as I've said before, if there's any topic you'd like me to cover in the future, drop it in the comments, send me a message, whatever is easiest, and I'll come on and talk about it. Now I'm going to head into the gym here and get a little sweat going myself. So we'll talk to you guys soon, and have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.